We're here at the JML with Club Chairman Jonathan James. Jonathan, how are you?
Morning, Jack. Absolutely fine on this glorious Saturday morning.
This has been your first season at the club being chairman. How have you seen the football side of things?
It's been a really, really interesting season. It's been a superb season. The teams that play for the club have all done extremely well. So I think successes on the pitch have been as good as successes off the pitch, which I will obviously talk about a little bit later. But yeah, been a really good season.
We've had plenty of successes on the pitch, not just the first team. Can you take us through how the teams have done this season?
Yeah, excuse me. I'll just look through my notes. I want to absolutely get it right. First team, brilliant, particularly the second half of the season. We finished 10th in the league, which is the highest position since we've been relegated. So it's the highest position in the last 3 seasons. Really, really good. 10 wins, 2 draws, 3 defeats in the last 3 months. So again, and we're also seeing really, really good attendances from people coming to watch the games. We did the double over Ely, something we're obviously extremely proud of, and that was in front of best part of 600 fans at both games. So yeah, that's been an exceptional one. Just touching on the under 23s, doesn't get any better than winning the league, which is exactly what they did by gaining a point over at above Framlingham. So they've had a brilliant season. The development squad, it's the first season they've played together as a team. The vast majority of those is the first time they've actually played men's football. Average age 18, 19, and many of those have obviously looking to progress. So that's been an exceptional year for those guys. The under 18s, they finished the season second in the table. They had a fantastic season. Good season with the players progressing into the development and the under 23 side, and always very proud to see it. There's been up to 4 of those guys on first team squad on match days, which is great. It's exactly what grassroots football is about. Homegrown talent. That's fantastic. The Vets, they've retained the Vets League title. They've also won the Vets Invitation Cup, so they've had another great season. And extremely proud of our women's team. The women's team, tomorrow is a very poignant day, playing here tomorrow. But it's the first season they've played together. It's the first season we've had women's football here at the JML. And they were the County Cup. They were in the semi-final. They are guaranteed a top 3 finish, but dependent on tomorrow's game against Deeping here at the JML, could finish second, which means promotion. Again, doesn't get any better than that. And next season we're gearing towards. We plan to have, as well as the first team, we're going to have a reserves team, which will help with the pathway that we've got for men and women's football. So that's a resume of what's been an exceptional season. The pitch looks absolutely amazing. Since they've had so many games on it, well over 100 games been played on the pitch this season. So I think it's fair to say we've had a very successful time on the pitch. We can touch a bit off the pitch shortly.
Off the pitch then, it was announced recently that we have a National Lottery Community Fund grant of a substantial amount of money. How happy are you with that?
We're over the moon with that one. So £180,000 National Lottery grant. That is an absolute game changer, no pun intended, but it is an absolute game changer for the club. And what that grant's intended is to fund a full-time person to be here, based at JML, to work within the community. So this is all part of our community work that we're going to be doing here as a football club. So whilst the JML is located very much at the centre of the town, it's our aim now very much to put the club at the very heart of the town. And in doing that, we're going to have somebody full-time to liaise with the community itself. So we're going to have a community liaison manager going out and about, doing work with schools, doing work with clubs, doing work with groups, so that we can use this half the wonderful facilities here, as well as the resources we have available to us, for that very, very special role. To my knowledge, I don't know local grassroots football with having anybody with a special role dedicated to work within the community at our level. Absolutely delighted and honoured that the National Lottery have seen us as recipients of such an award. A lot of work's gone into it. My colleague Michael Firrick, who's the vice chair, he headed up this project for us. And Michael's done an extremely good job of putting together a very robust budget and a very robust plan as to how this project moves forward. But it's going to mean coming probably starting in the middle of the summer that somebody will be in position to take that role forward. Very, very excited.
Last time we spoke was towards the back end of 2024. What's happened since then?
So, a lot of behind the scenes stuff that we had to do to get the club to where it had been. There had been, there was much needed resource, much needed funds. Just around us, we got the trees, for example, they needed some work doing to them. We got the floodlights, which have made a huge difference to the game. And we've had very many of the usual fun events that we've had. Only a couple of weeks back, we had the car show here. We had an extremely successful sportsman's dinner, the first one for a number of years now. 200 people attended that, and my thanks to my colleagues Laura and Brett Fuller and Paul Skinner, who headed that project up. But again, all the team were involved in that. We provided our own bar team there, and many thanks to all the sponsors involved in making that a huge successful event. Great night. Razor Ruddock was there, and local man Russ Bray, who's very well known in the darts world. Russ came along and lended his support, and Russ has been a great supporter of the club this season particularly. So we're really pleased with how the Sportsman's Dinner went. Undoubtedly, that will become an annual event.
Looking forward then, what's going to happen over the summer towards the start of the new season?
So the summer, we've got a number of events. Only last night, a friendly against Newmarket was arranged for a charity match, over £2,000 raised for Man Up. So there'll be a number of events. As you and I are speaking now, a wedding reception's being set up in there, and I've got to say it looks absolutely amazing. So there will be numerous events going on over the summer months. We've got our own community committee day up here next week. We had the Player of the Year event last week, which was extremely successful. Everybody got recognised as players, and really good fun event. So there'll be various events going over the summer. From the football point of view, I spoke to Lance only last week. We're very much gearing up for an exciting season ahead, and we very much want to be aiming for that promotion. So Lance will be putting together the team for that, and obviously everybody needs to keep their eyes peeled to the social media posts accordingly. But yeah, we are really gearing up for an exciting season ahead, and if we can carry on what happened at the end of last season, then we'll be in a good place to do so, I think. We will continue to have events ongoing, so please, if I can ask everybody to look out for that one. We'll obviously be announcing, as we just mentioned earlier, as job applications are open now for the community liaison manager, so we'll be announcing that middle of the summer as well, hopefully. So just keep your eyes peeled to the social media, please.
You touched on it there, Jonathan. Next season, how much are you looking forward to it from not just a first team perspective, but from a whole club perspective?
I think it's very obvious now that as a club, we think as a club, the first team are obviously a crucial part of it, but equally so are all the other teams. So the support is recognising that. I've come up here on a Friday night, and there's been to under 18s to 23s. There's been massive following for those teams. The women's team. You can come up here. The game against Ely that I attended away at Ely was incredibly well supported. So I think as a club, we're all about supporting it. Last week at the Player of the Year awards, the word football family kept coming up. So I think we definitely look at it as a whole, and very much want to keep it that way. It's a great place to be from that point of view.
Let's talk about at the JML. Is there any changes that are going to come to the facilities here?
Certainly. So we've talked about a refurbishment, which is work in progress, and that's something we're very much looking forward to getting underway. We've got a change going on upstairs, so people will know there's offices upstairs. We are looking to utilise the current incumbents are moving out, so we're looking to utilise those offices very much for use of the club, for use of the community, as well as being rented out to others. So we're going to make more use of that building full stop, which by having a more flexible use upstairs will allow us to have a far more flexible use downstairs. So if I can put a plea out to any community groups that very much want to make use of the facilities we have here, just to get in contact with us, and that will in itself again put us very much at the heart of the community of Soham.
The darts at the JMO is also a massive thing. Do you want to touch on that as well?
Yeah, we're looking towards putting ourselves as a bit of a hub for darts. It's already started. We've been having, on a Sunday morning, we've been having a lot of youngsters coming up here playing darts, which is wonderful to see. Obviously, I mentioned Russ Bray earlier, but we've also got Brett Claydon, another professional darts player who's been actively getting involved. So again, please look out on social media for updates on the darts, because the Luke Litter effect has gone right across the UK and has certainly not been lost on the people in the community of Soham. So we very much want to put ourselves right in the forefront of everything going on there.
Finally, Jonathan, it goes without saying that the support of the volunteers who work here week in, week out, make the club run. Can I get a comment on them from you?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It goes without saying we're so heavily dependent on the goodwill of an amazing team of volunteers that we have here. It's very easy to take for granted when you turn up and see everything happening, but everything does happen. We're exceptionally lucky. So from the ground, the pitch crew here, particularly Kev, Graham, Malcolm, David, all who make this happen, and it very much happens behind the scenes. If we look at the tea hut, so we've got the ladies who work in the tea hut, particularly Charlotte and Cheryl, who make that happen on a very regular basis. We've got the bar team, so we've got Johnny, we've got Amy, we've got Ali, and various other team members who jump in and help. So we as a club desperately rely on the goodwill of people. I've mentioned a number there, but there's so many more that I haven't mentioned who make things happen behind the scenes. So a huge thank you from us, from the board, for all those who get together on a very regular basis and provide us with the support that we need.
Super. Thank you very much, Jonathan.